Nice Shorts theme song.
Nice shorts. Yeah.
Dougal, thanks so much for being here and joining us.
Thank you so
It's
much for having me.
pleasure to meet you. Congrats on getting into the PFCAT. Do you want to just introduce yourself and
hmm
talk about your film a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm Dougal Vecqueray, director of MRI. The film is about a patient that goes for an MRI scan and then halfway through is transported into this very psychedelic, surreal world.
Yeah.
It's sort of loosely based off my own experiences growing up with a heart condition and going for all these scary tests and scans throughout my life. Although I can't say I've had any experience quite as trippy as the one in the film, but I made it at the Ardman Academy in Bristol, in England, last year, and yeah, it's currently in its festival circuit.
Can I ask how long for that MRI scan? Like, how long is that
Like
process?
an actual MRI scan, it's like
Actual,
an
yeah.
hour to 2 hours. And yeah, the
Really?
one I had where I actually came up with the idea for the film, and I was in there what felt like, oh, so long. And,
Wow.
you're in this tight space, and it's just like, oh. And then I was like, what if it just opened up into this really trippy, weird space adventure? But yeah.
Yeah,
An
wow.
hour, over an hour. So is your heart condition like you care too much? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's
No.
just so full. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Do they play music? Do they talk to you? Like,
Yeah, it's very sort of with the voice that was very inspired by like just them talking in your ear. They do play music, but it's all
Mhm.
very weirdly like crackly radio, and you're there like with all these loud MRI sounds that you can hear anyway with the music, and uh,
Wow.
yeah,
You might need to inject some
yeah. So
in.
that
So,
was another thing that sort of inspired the really trippiness was they do inject you with this dye, and it does feel really weird. It's like this warm rush up your body, and yeah, and just that feeling and just the whole experience. I was like, this is so weird. I need to come up with some sort of story around it. And a lot of people that have seen the film at other festivals or like who I've shown personally, and they've had MRIs, they're like, you got it pretty right with like the loud noises and the injections and all this weird stuff. And it's really funny to hear that from the audience. But yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
didn't
so
think it.
connected. You build a connection through that experience.
is the puppet Dougal or what's the puppet's name?
The puppet's Tom.
I was curious about the puppet changes colors. Now, the arm one, okay, you painted it. What the hell do you do on the face?
Okay, so with the turning blue, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so the arm was actually, I've got Tom here actually. So
Ah,
he's,
He still looks scared.
yeah,
He's like mid-peak
still
right
traumatized.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
I
worry.
mean, he's been in a cupboard for a couple months now, so he is falling apart a bit. He doesn't have a butt anymore. But
Oh,
Happens to all
no.
of us as we
it's,
age. It's
yeah,
okay.
right. But his arms are actually fine, as you can see, but they're made out of silicon. But so we had to sculpt the arms, build a mold, and then they went and poured the silicon in with a wire armature. But for that shot where it turns blue, I just used the mold to make a clay version of the hand and then blended blue plasticine in. So it's not paint, it's, yeah, just
Okay.
blending in the blue. And then there was actually a second, almost identical puppet of Tom that was blue. That close up into the blue version, it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was very, had him on the set close up and then brought in the other puppet and then on the screen just trying to line it up as closely as possible, and then in the shot, the rough take, it'll just be him, and then cut to the blue version. But then in After Effects in edit, I yeah sort of penciled in this sort of, I don't know,
Oh,
wipe, yeah, that sort of, and the head is made out of this hard plastic, so I had two identical heads. I painted one blue, one regular, and so that's why it was so closely matched. Yeah.
Nothing, like the eyebrows don't move, nothing moved. I'm like, that's if I'm like, if it's literally two puppets, that's a very perfect build. That's
Yeah. Well, it was a sort of swapping. Yeah, it would be the same eyebrows. The eyebrows come off. I'm like, just put it on the other one, and they shared a
oh.
robe. That's what the robe's kind of blue from when I put it on Blue Tom, and he had all this blue clay on it. But yeah, no, it was a lot of swapping back and forth and very carefully lining it up on screen.
I think majority very on set and in front of the camera, just do a
Mhm.
little pose on it,
Yeah.
and only for your puppet this sequence, but also for the background of all the
Mhm.
imaginative. Like I so appreciate about that visual. Can you talk more about that?
Sort of the colors and the backgrounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was very trying to make, although there was a lot in edit, a lot of it I wanted to make as practically as possible. So that
Yeah.
background is actually this technique called strata cut, where you have this log of plasticine, you cut slices and take frames inside. Like I was watching videos online before writing the film, and I was like, oh, this is like the really just surreal, soft, like really smooth movement.
Yeah.
I just want these colors in the background, so I just used that and then put it all together, and then made sort of this tunnel version of it when he's traveling through that. But yeah, no, and the space backgrounds as well. I was
Mhm.
going to go like, oh, I'll just find some stock footage that's sort of free and I can use the space, but then with the help of some Aardman guys, it was like, oh, let's crinkle some black foil, poke holes in it, shine lights from the other side to get it looking like stars, and then shine some colored lights to get that sort of galactic, misty sort of color. And
Yeah.
That's
I loved that because then I'm like, oh yeah, I made that background. It's like it's so cool.
Right.
that's a cool trick.
Yeah.
For the strata cut, so did you do it and then like kaleidoscope it in After Effects or something, or was it literally just a huge?
No, I did
Okay.
try and make it as big as possible, but it did end up just being this one thing, and then I just sort of duplicated it, had it
Okay.
in reverse, so it didn't look like it was just pasted, but
Oh,
it was
It
just
doesn't.
raw.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But like strata cuts, because I've seen them, they're not huge. They're I mean like it's hard enough as is, like a
yeah.
bread loaf size. That's really cool. I didn't realize.
It was sort
Nice.
of the scariest part was because you don't know what it's going to look like inside until you chop it up, and it's sort of like, right. I did actually have a first try at it, and it just didn't look that good. So then I had to make another one, and it's just a lot of wrapping colors around each other and rolling it up and then slicing it.
mhm.
Luckily, it looked pretty good on the second try. So yeah.
How long does it take to make the loaf?
It was a couple days of using this pasta maker and getting all the
Ah,
clay and sort of yeah. So I'd have like these strips and then just sort of wrap them around each other, and then people would come and check on me, and I would just be there with like these bright colored hands just trying to mold all this clay together. But it was a lot of fun. It was because like the most amazing part of this production was every week I was doing something weird and new, like that shot in the film where he switches to all those different versions. You know, there's a sock puppet, there's a
Oh
live
yeah.
action. That was, I think, my favorite week of shooting the film because it's like, right, this today I'm doing a sock puppet version. Today I'm painting my little brother blue and filming him screaming, and then
yeah.
collage and all these different versions. And yeah, no, that wasn't ever sort of a boring day on set sort of thing.
Was it hard to find the right actual hospital gown for the live action?
Well, it's not quite, but I did. Yeah, I had that gown before I made the little. So this is sort of printed fabric, and I made the design just sort of to look as similar as possible. But yeah, it's sort
That's
of like sort of trying to find the best ways to make it look sort of a smooth transition from yeah, character to character without
You
it being.
painted your brother blue.
Yep, that was an interesting day. Yeah,
Did it come off easily?
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Luckily, like we were like, oh yeah, I do hope this does come off. But yeah, no, he was really excited.
It's just Sharpie. Don't
Yeah,
worry about it. Yeah.
he's like, yeah, for the film, you know. Initially, he wasn't supposed to look like me, but from the animatic, everyone, I guess, just assumed it was supposed to be me. But yeah, no, I just called him Tom. Just
okay.
yeah,
It
Yeah, a
works.
little separate
yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
But
you
it
don't
is
want
a
to
very
traumatize
personal
yourself.
story, so yeah, it
Yeah.
may as well be me.
And you don't want to
Yes.
accidentally make a voodoo doll, like
Yeah,
that's,
no.
yeah.
And the fact
Oh,
that he's falling apart now is very like yeah, he's lost a foot as well. I forgot to show that. But
Oh.
yeah, I hope he's not my voodoo doll. That would be quite.
You just look down, your toes are all gone.
I don't
Um,
look quite as terrified.
you were tortured by an hour and a half alone in a tube. So
Yeah,
then you spend months alone in a cubicle in a little stage making a film about it.
yeah, it was very. The art was becoming my life, sort of thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, getting too into this, yeah, claustrophobic setting. No, it was.
Turning off all the light. At least like, or you could have just animated the whole thing wearing the
Yeah.
garb and it would have been perfect.
If white wasn't a terrible thing to wear when shooting because of the reflected light, but yeah, no, it felt
I
slightly like I was becoming a patient of some sort.
I
oh,
never thought
No,
about
it
that.
was good though.
You guys, I've never thought about because like when in music when you're recording, it's good to not wear like a belt or like
Mm.
wear something where it's not going to like make a
Yeah,
sound against the instruments. I never thought about like you
like a
guys.
white t-shirt reflect. Yeah, we would have these bounce boards for the lighting that were white, and then I'm like, oh, why is there flicker on the screen in this shot? Oh, it's because I'm wearing. I would come to the studio a few times a week forgetting that I shouldn't be wearing white clothes and have to sort of go behind a curtain to take each frame and then go back in.
I feel you.
Oh my God.
Totally.
You have to have a lot of patience with stop motion,
Yes,
especially if
yes.
you're wearing
Wow.
white to work.
I would love to be just hanging out in the studio that day, just watch you come out, like click your
Yeah,
thumb and go
it
back.
was very much. They would have these tours of the studio, and I would be there like running out with this clicky button
Yeah.
and then running back in. It was,
You should have like a conversation that's ongoing every time you come out and you disappear for a few minutes
yeah,
and come back out. Like, yeah, so anyway, I
it
was
was
saying, well, I'm
like
getting
that.
plates. That's great.
I really like to do all sort of the planning visually, sort of visual development. I really like storyboarding and sort of animatics and stuff. So that was really helpful to get all that planned out solid before going into production. I think that's kind of common knowledge though with stop motion is to make sure it's all planned out, the schedule, the shots, and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
yeah. I mean, I'm an example of very poor preparation with MRI and coming in every day. I'm like, oh, how am I going to do that? I just said I was going to do it, but I need to line up the skeleton with the rest of his body just like that, and just improvise. Yeah, which you don't really want to have to do with stop motion. But yeah,
Like especially like for your film. Yes, you recommend like storyboard animatic
Mm.
and kind of knowing the timing and the elements you need to use.
Yeah,
But also the performance of your film is such a straight ahead
hmm,
to make that scene, right?
yeah.
So about that part and also the planning. How do we plan about that spontaneous performance for your,
Mm.
yeah.
That's a really good question. Because also I say it all has to be planned out and but also you're getting new ideas every day and sort of adding that into performance of the film. I like that. But yeah, I think it's very because this is my first film and I hadn't really done any sort of
What?
yeah,
No
and
way.
that's
Okay.
what being at the academy was like. Every day I was learning something from someone else, and sort of if I did run into like there was a few days where I was like, oh, I'm quite behind on these shots. I've said I'm gonna have a whole sequence finished by the end of the week, and then like just asking someone how would the best way of maybe going about this in a different way or a different sort of strategy. A big part of that was actually because I had a lot of sort of wide shots of Tom sort of moving in this space planned out, and then I was like, okay, maybe there'd be more like reactions and close ups because that'll save a lot of time if I'm just animating the face, and that's why a lot of the film is, which helped also with sort of the visual motif of it being all close and
Yeah.
up to his face the whole time. But that was
No
something I was
rig.
like, oh no, I've said he's going to be doing these like flips in the air and like all these colors are going to be moving through him. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could just do something happening to his face, or maybe all these colors are moving around him and it's up and he's just looking at it all and he looks down and his toes are moving and then we don't have to cut out and sort of thing. But yeah, no, it was sort of adapting to sort of issues or sort of a different way of going about it.
It's great. I love that you are so conscious about the lens, like what kind of
Mm.
shots really fit to that moment. So
Yeah,
you plan, but you're also being flexible while you have the
yeah.
footage. That's an important process for your editing,
Oh,
right? Like
totally.
you want to see the best shot for that
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, I
Oh,
love
totally.
that.
You did your first film. What did you take away from this going forward? You're like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Mm.
I want to focus more on this
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, coming out of Aardman, where like, because for this to be my first film, I was so lucky to be at the academy with all these resources and all this help. I think moving forward, it would be somehow replicating that in my own sort of studio space with all these all this equipment I don't have access to and all
Just
the
call Phil
details,
Davies to
you
come
know.
over. No problem. Yeah.
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 But yeah, yeah. No, I learned a lot, and I'm struggling to sort of pick anything out now. But like, I just want to make more sort of films like MRI and sort of have all these ideas. And I'm like, right.
More of MRI?
Yeah, well, a lot of people are like, are you going to do a sequel? What happens with the eyeball? What happens at the end there? But yeah, I think I'll have to come up with some other sort of medical context, like scenario for Tom to go through. But
If you want if you want to be really morbid, the sequel is just a still frame of a tombstone, and that's it.
that should have been the post-credit scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. You bring up this reality
Mhm.
with so many people gonna experience,
Yeah.
but you have a light and humor tone for
Yeah.
us, but also feel it. So yes, if you are gonna to have a sequel, I definitely want to watch it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very cool. And also, from the conversation, like, is that for your personality? You are usually embrace change. You embrace, listen to ideas and adapt. Like, it's not a pressure for you. It's you like challenge. Is that
Yeah.
who you are? Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. No, like I know there's sort of people that are like, this is what I have in mind and this is what I'm going to do. I don't really want to hear other ideas. But I mean, MRI itself, you'll watch it and you're like, oh, he was playing a lot with this film and that's really what it was. And I was just like trying new things. I'm like open-minded. It's already an absurd premise. What crazy things can you guys want me to do with it? And I got to play around and yeah, no, and really love to hear other ideas. Yeah, and that sort of every day on set was hearing new ideas, up to like recording the voiceover for the doctor. The guy in the sound booth was like, "Why don't you just do it like with a smile on your face? Do all the lines like you're like really happy, and then it's like even more creepy that he comes out as this eyeball at the end, stuff like that." And you're just like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm just gonna do that." Yeah, enjoy. Get ready for a really weird ride. It is a lot of people come out and go, "What was that?"
Bye, Dougal.
Tom,
Oh, bye, Tom.
I love you, Tom. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Tom, we'll be starting the scan shortly. You may also experience a tamper perception of space and time during the flight.